Okay.
Chris, I didn't see this on the agenda, maybe it's in your report, but was there any adverse effects to our budget?
I'll talk about that. I didn't,
Good.
as far as I know, I don't know. I haven't heard anything.
Final readings?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think I've got the updated, a little bit,
Okay,
but not much, not really enough to have a big impact, so.
okay. I don't
And,
wanna
and
ask unless we-
yeah, I was gonna talk about where I pulled money from. I pulled it from just a couple of different places to kind of minimize the impact, so I can. Okay, so I can tell you guys about that. And Kristen was planning on being here, so I expect her. I haven't heard anything from Becca, so I don't. All right.
Great. All right, I will call the September Library Board of Trustees meeting to order. First item of business is approval of the minutes. Did anyone have a chance to review the minutes?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the August meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Approved. All right, financial reports.
All right. In your packets, you've got the city register. It wasn't in the initial packet I sent out because they were having some Cassell issues that have been resolved. So that's in there at the back. The Memorial Miscellaneous was a little busier this month than usual because of the digital literacy grant. And I've been starting to purchase things from that grant. So that was a $6,000 grant, and so we're using that for mainly equipment and also some promotional stuff for the classes as well. The Dunn Trust CD is on there, the First Interstate Bank. We don't have a statement yet, but because I couldn't get the CD out of First National Bank on the day that I was supposed to because the woman that does that was gone. It was over the weekend, so it actually ended up generating a little more interest over those 3 days. So it came out to be $343,870.16, which was deposited, and we will need to decide at the end of the 5 months, which February, what to do with the interest, and we can move it all into savings, or if we want to take a portion of the interest and put it back in the endowment to grow, we can do that as well. So in February, we'll have to make that decision. It should have earned about $7,200 in the 5 months. So that's where we'll be at with that.
So Chris,
Yes.
question, so that matures February 5th then, is that correct?
I believe that's the date, yes.
And do they let us know before, because we want to do it
We
before.
have
otherwise
10
they-
days
Okay.
to decide what
So
to
they'll
do.
let us know ahead of time.
So
that-
we'll know ahead of time what the interest rate is, if it's better or worse, and then we'll go from there.
Okay,
Yep. So we should know that before the January meeting, since it'll come due at the beginning of February. Yeah. And let's see. And then that's the checking account. Yeah, okay. The other thing I wanted to mention with the financial reports is the changes to the budget. with the cuts that we were asked to make, it was, where's the amount? About 20, let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 1,300 or so in cuts that we were asked to make in the library. What I ended up doing was I dropped the building maintenance down by $300. I dropped office supplies by $50. I dropped the computer replacement budget by 100, and I dropped the travel budget by 200. Some of that was actually put back in, but I have actually, I just printed this out so you guys can look at it. This is what they talked about at the last meeting. I haven't heard
Thank
one
you.
way or the other whether it's been
Thank you.
approved or not, but I think this is the one that's going forward for public comment, and then we'll go from there. So, nothing really to be concerned about, for us anyway. It, relatively unscathed.
Could you go over those numbers again, Chris, where the cuts were made, please?
Sure. If you look at the printout I gave you, building maintenance was 2,800 and it dropped to 2,490. So you can actually see the 23 to 24, that was there. I took office supplies from 1,000 down to 950. I reduced the computer budget from, actually, it looks like that got put back. I had it at 2,400 and it actually stayed at 2,400. And then I reduced travel from 3,000 to 2,800. There was some change in the amount I had to cut, and so it looks like they went ahead and added that change back in, so that's why it's 2,802 instead of 2,800. So those are the places where things were cut. So building maintenance, office supplies, and travel. So there you go. 15. Yeah. Any other questions about that?
Second reading is up tonight, so
Sure.
there's potential for more changes, minor changes.
Right.
At this point, but,
Yeah.
so, FYI.
Yeah, so,
Since
We'll
we
see.
had originally approved this budget to be submitted, the original one, and this was not something we decided on, there's nothing that we have to do. I mean, voting on
think
it is
so.
a moot point, right?
I
If you do vote on it, I would vote and accept it maybe after second reading, when it's final.
Okay.
At your next meeting, maybe just accept it, that these are the changes that were made, and this is just for
Yeah.
your notes in the minutes, but I
Okay.
would wait tonight.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks, Lisa.
And this was one of those, oh, by the way, this is how much lower it's gonna be. You guys need to take care of that by the next meeting, so, I had the weekend to go over it. And I had already kind of sketched out where I thought the money should come from, just like I said, to have the least impact, and so, yeah. So that's why I put it there. But yeah, I guess we could, formally approve it.
But you said there were $1,300 in cuts?
Originally, but then some of it got put back.
Got put back in, okay.
Yeah, which I guess I didn't realize till I just looked at that, and saw, because it doesn't match up with where I'd placed cuts, so
'Cause it's
that
just those
changed a little bit.
3 areas.
And then, yeah, after tonight, then we'll know if it changes anymore or not. All right, and that is, yeah, that's all the budget stuff. We don't have a quarterly report from the Community Foundation yet. so that hasn't changed. And, yeah, we talked about the CD, so I think we're all good that way with financials.
Will you be able to let us know, Chris, if they approve what the cuts that you've made, or if they want more cuts?
As soon as I know, I can let you guys know, yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
And Chris, I guess just for, usually when they review this tonight, will they just say you need to cut 1,000 more, or do they tell you in certain areas? They just leave that up to you?
They just give me a number, yeah, which is what they did this last time around. They just said you need to cut potentially this much out of the budget.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Anything else, Chris, on budget, on finance?
That's all I've got for financial information.
All right. Any questions on the financial report? Anybody? I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to approve the September financial reports. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
All right,
Director's report.
yeah. All the CPIs keep looking pretty good, so that's great. I included the donations that we got on the sheet. The quilt show, the quilts are showing up. We've got, gosh, a whole stack of them. Those will be going up on Saturday. We are raffling off a library quilt. It's a books with a bunch of cats, and it's going to be $5 a ticket, or 5 tickets for 20. Raise some money for programming. So that'll go up, and we'll do that and see if that see if we can get a little bit for some programming money out of that. Nobody really knew as far as meetings. We're finding that our space is filling up pretty quickly with meetings, so that's great. Things are being used. Lushba's busy a fair amount for people that have 1 or 2 person meetings, so that's good to see. All our programming is up and running again. Sierra was going to come in and talk about stuff, or we were going to do a field trip. I figured trying to adjourn and move over and come back wouldn't be a great idea today because they're making egg noodles from scratch, so she's kind of got her hands full. So having her take time to talk to us. She'll do that next month, which is the first coding club, and there's somebody that's going to be instructing that, so she'll have a couple of minutes to step out and talk about the children's programming. We've got a replacement for our Nintendo Wii that was starting to, it just wasn't working. We're not quite sure why. So we have a Nintendo Switch now, and we've done 1 week of Power Players, which is once or twice a month, and that went pretty well. So we're excited about that. And Music Speaks is up and running again. History at High Noon will start in October again. And yeah, so yeah, we had 20 some people at the concert, the Music Speaks concert last week. So that was good. And yeah, so yeah, next month it's going to be talking about Dvorak and the New World Symphony as kind of a prelude to the Arts Council dinner that they're having before the Black Hills Symphony concert that following Saturday, which they're performing the Dvorak, and there's also a guitar concerto and stuff. So I thought that might be a nice tie-in for them, and it's interesting and it's great music anyway. So that's coming up with that. Facility-wise, things are in pretty good shape. They got the trim put up around the new computer desks I put in, so that's pretty much done. No projects down the horizon. No lights have gone out lately, knock on wood. I think we've got the furnace or the radiator in the community room, I think that valve is set to be replaced here pretty soon. But I haven't heard when they're coming. And other than that, I think things are good. Yeah. So that's that. Let's see. We actually talked under other. We talked about that already. That should have been. I should have gotten rid of that. But we are still. The courier was coming regularly for a while, and then missed a couple days, and then yesterday brought 8 totes. So it's not quite worked out yet, but I think we're getting there, which is good. Yeah, the lobby got painted, 2 weekends ago. Looks nice, so that's good. We got sorry about that. We got the digital literacy grant money, and I've been buying equipment and looking for spots in the schedule to get those classes set up. I think we'll be maybe offering some individual sessions as well, because a lot of the way these literacy classes work is it's essentially self-guided. The instructor gets everything rolling, and then everybody has their own computer, and it's all web-based. So you're doing a lot of one-on-one answering questions anyway. So that may work out for some people that need some individual help. We can set them up and put them in the study room or put them in someplace with a computer, and they can do that on their own. So
Can you refresh me? How much was the grant?
$6,000.
6,000, thank you.
So we've purchased some laptops, some tablets, and we'll be using some money for, notebooks and pens so people can take notes, just some other kind of stuff for them to use as promo stuff. So, yeah, that's great.
Instructors?
Me, I think Cindy, Lord, our new part-time, will probably pick up a couple. And I don't know if anybody else is going to have to do that or not. So it's, yeah, so we'll be doing that. What else? Coding Club, we still don't know about the grant, but we did start to purchase some of the equipment with the money that we raised, so that can get, because that gets started the end of October, and so we want to make sure we have at least some equipment for the students to use. So some of the stuff we bought with the literacy grant we can use, and then we purchased a few more tablets just the other day, so we should have at least half, if not 2/3 of what we're looking for. And then if the grant comes through, we can use that for a charging rack and storage and a few more tablets so that we have plenty for people that need it. So hopefully we'll hear about that soon. Library card sign-up month is September, so we're offering a giveaway. If people take a picture of them and their library card and put it on the Facebook site, we have a few entries, not as many as we hoped. And there was an article, I think, in the Pioneer today about library sign-up month. A reporter called libraries in the area, and Kathy didn't say I said anything stupid, so if I'm in the article, hopefully it was good stuff. But I haven't looked at it yet, so I couldn't say for sure. We have partial solar eclipse Saturday that we're doing an event for in the park. We have the glasses and all that good stuff. So looking forward to that. Donia and Lee went to a training session today at the South Dakota Library Association conference in Rapid to pick up some more tips and get some more stuff for us to borrow and use for that. So that's good. The convention goes tomorrow and Friday. Sierra's going tomorrow because there are some sessions she was interested in, and I'm going to go on Friday for a little bit. And so that's all in Rapid City. On October 13th, the State Library is having a regional training session that's open to library staff, board of directors, whoever wants to. It's here in town from 10 to 2. I know Cricket and I had talked about it yesterday. She's going to try to make it.
So I
Did you
Tried
try to
to sign
register
up.
today?
I did. I
Yeah.
went to my SD, tried to get an account, says I have an account, but then I tried to register and it gave me an error, so I left a message
Right.
with Brenda.
Yeah, the issue is, because I did the same thing,
Okay.
because the way you sign up is through some system the Department of Ed
Yeah.
created. And so you have to go into the Department of Ed and link your account, and then you can sign up. And that takes up to 72 hours, so.
Oh, that's why it kept giving me the error, so maybe I can
Yes.
get in now.
Well, you'll get an email, well, no, because you have to go to the
My
Department of
SD?
Ed site. No, you have to go
Before
to the
that.
Department of Ed site before that, yes.
I just left a
Because I
message
did the
with
same
Brenda.
thing.
And I
So,
said,
anyway.
help me, sign me up.
And if I see her on Friday,
Please do.
because I emailed her to ask her if we have enough people yet or not, but.
We're good?
She's at the convention
Oh.
this weekend, so.
That would be why.
Yeah, so she's not gonna be able to respond anytime soon. But the session this time around is about library policies and procedures. So, hopefully it'll be nice and wonky and we can talk about stuff so if any of you are interested in coming, you get lunch. That's good. So that's Friday, October 13th. The Festival of Books was last weekend. I know some of you guys were there. I moderated sessions Friday and Saturday and drove authors back and forth to the airport and stuff. And the library loaned them 3 projector screens and 2 projectors. And so we were involved pretty heavily in that, which is great. Sierra volunteered as well to do some stuff. And so, yeah, it was good. It was, I think, the sessions I was at were great, so,
I was very
yeah.
impressed. A lot of people.
yeah, a lot of people, and people. Yes,
Oh,
Yep.
nice.
yeah, the, South Dakota Humanities Council gave a copy of The Tale of Despero to every 3rd grader in the state.
Oh, wow.
So it was 12,000, I think,
Oh,
is how many they gave out.
That's awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
It's such a good idea.
And I think this is the first year they said that they got to every school in the state. I think in the past, maybe some schools didn't participate or whatever the issue was, but they said they got a book to every 3rd grader this year, so. So that's pretty exciting, yeah. And Kate DiCamillo talked to kids on Thursday, and she did sessions Friday. I think she had the session Saturday morning, so, yeah, she was pretty busy doing stuff, and, yeah, so that was good, and, yeah, and Kathy went to see David Grand.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. I got him to sign our copy of the wager, so.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Good.
so we've got that. I didn't want to take all the, well, I think a bunch of them were checked out, so I didn't want to be that guy, but yeah, anyway. Yeah. So,
It was good.
yeah, I think that was great overall. I think I put in, we had to send volunteer hours. I think it was 481 miles and 25 hours.
Wow.
So, yeah. So that was good. Yeah, I think, yeah, it was, I'm happy to do it, and I was glad I was here. So, yeah,
Yeah, is it usually in Deadwood, or do they alternate?
Every
between
three
Brookings
alternate.
and- oh, so next year it'll be Brookings?
Yep.
yeah, yeah. So, yep, so that's next year. And that's about all I have, unless you guys want to talk about the Festival of Books at all, or,
No, it was great. It was great. Yeah,
good,
I really
good,
liked
good.
it.
I found that I could have spent a lot of money, which I would.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Now, did Kate DeCamilla, did she speak at the Rapid City Schools? Did she go?
Yes.
I think had
Okay.
Yeah,
wasn't
she
that
would,
her Thursday thing?
that was on Thursday. She was at, I think, at the monument,
I
and
used
they
to feel
brought in kids to
So
listen to her.
fortunate when the authors would come and speak
Yeah.
at the classes. I used to get like Elaine Marie Alphen and
Mhm.
who's the one that wrote all the Hidden Children series? Gosh, I can't remember her name. She came and spoke one time to the middle school kids. So, yeah, it was great. They used-
Yeah, good. Well, I think, yeah, I think,
I love that thing.
one of the sessions Cricket was at, we're gonna try to get that person here.
Yeah. I
And-
don't know, the person that organized it, I emailed her, because Jennifer,
Yeah,
she put me with this lady that wrote a book about deployment, and she thought, it was amazing. And it wasn't, that's what her intent was, to make it a book about deployment before and after, but really it became much more than just about her experience being deployed. And that I was sitting in there, because it really tied into with what I do every day. Her husband, and then some of the struggles he had and some injuries, and then addicted to hydrocodone because of an injury that he had. And so I'm like, that's my world. So she might be coming in and doing at our Yellow Ribbon events, and sharing her book, and having an impact on a lot of families. So what a connection that it was. Yeah, she was amazing. Good book. It was an easy read too, so I think the families will enjoy it. So yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see if we can tie that in, and, yeah, I didn't ask, David Gran how much he costs to come out, because I figured we probably can't afford him, but he did want to go see Mount Rushmore, but didn't get to because it was raining, so
Oh,
I can
no.
always throw that out to his agent and say, David Gran. Yeah, so, anyway, yeah, it was all good. Yeah, so, there you go.
All
That
right.
is the,
We'll move into unfinished business, and Chris, if you can give an update on those library policies.
yeah, so I mucked up, and the library policies weren't actually available for the public to view last month, so I fixed it. So this is our revised, well, not really revised, because nothing's different, first reading, our second first reading. And the one thing that I did is, since the genealogy policy was actually, we changed the amount that we're charging. I moved that into the second set of policies that had some big changes. So the grammatical changes, I pulled them out of your last, I didn't want to print them again, so I just pulled them out of the last agenda and put them back in this one. Nothing's changed. What we had done is we had approved all of the changes in green that we had talked about, which were essentially grammatical changes. So if anybody wants to talk about those again, we could. Otherwise, we could just go ahead and approve the first reading officially, and then next month will be the second reading, and then we can put those into place.
We'll give everyone a minute to
So
refresh
Chris,
your
which
memory.
ones would those be? The art, behavior, computer, and
Facts and social media, yeah, it's in your packet. I've got the,
everything other than,
those 5 policies are the grammatical changes.
okay,
And then the policies that had more changes into them were genealogy, equipment, and library card holder. Those were the other 3 that had substantive changes to them. So so the first page of the old set of policies is not, we just took genealogy off of that and moved it. But everything else is the same. Art displays, and behavior and computer use, facts, policy, and social media. Those are the 5 policies that had grammar changes only.
and so you're looking for another,
We need to approve the first reading of those, since the public was able to look at them this time and they couldn't last time.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the first reading of the Sturgis Public Library policies. Any discussion, questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
All right, and then the second set of policies with the bigger changes are grouped together, and again, those were, we didn't change anything that we talked about at the last meeting. But we can go over some of those changes again, since they were more substantial. The equipment loan policy is being updated to put, we're having the same policy for all equipment, whether it's hotspots or any of the other equipment we have. And so we're allowing children to check those out as long as they have a guarantor on their card. The overdue fine for the equipment is $5 a day up to the replacement cost. We're not requiring deposits anymore. We had thought about doing that, but that's just gonna end up being really awkward, and we don't really have a way for doing credit cards, which is probably what most people would want to use anyway, so, and the equipment doesn't really go out often enough to make it that much of an issue. So that's the equipment loan policy changes. The cardholder policy changes, we revised how we're talking about it. 5 to 17 is a child card now, so when you're 18, you become an adult. Children are required to have an adult guarantor on their card, so that'll solve the equipment policy issue. If they don't, if they've had the card for a while and they don't have a parent, then we'll have to take care of it at that point. So that changed. And the probationary period has changed to 8 weeks. So you're limited to 2 items for the first 8 weeks. You can't check out equipment for the first 8 weeks. We had different amounts of time. We decided for 8 weeks because if they check something out and it gets automatically renewed, there's 6 weeks. So we're not going to know potentially if something isn't going to come back until the 7th or 8th week anyway. So that's why we changed that.
So Chris, I think what I would like to do, just to kind of keep consistent with what since these were significant changes, is can we go back to the equipment loan policy, and can I get a motion and a second to approve that, and then we'll move on to the second one?
Sure,
That
we
way
can
I
do
can
that.
record it that way.
Yeah.
So I will entertain a motion to approve the first reading of the equipment loan policy, or is there any questions beforehand? I think we all went over it really well last time, but I'll entertain. So moved?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions? Further information on that one? All those in favor of approving the first reading of the equipment loan policy signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. All right, the first reading has been approved.
Okay, so library card holder policy, like I said, so we've changed a little bit of that. The other things that we've done to the card holder policy is the temporary card will not have digital access. That's an issue with Overdrive, who is the maker of Libby, and the way our contract is written. The idea is that local card holders can use it, but if you're not a local card holder, then we potentially are in violation of the policy. So that's why we're limiting. So basically, someone that has a mail stop address can't use Libby, is essentially what it works out to be. But so $25 for a non-resident card, and then you get that back if everything is returned. Two items at a time is all that's checked out, and then we got rid of the temporary rally card. Since we're not open during rally, it was a bit of a moot point, and it was a sort of an odd little policy anyway, that you had to put down $50, you could check out one thing, and you had to return it the next day. Or return the same day, actually. So it didn't really make a lot of sense to do that.
Most of that was for our photos for tattoos.
Right. But if they needed that, they were just making copies anyway.
Right.
And
so
well,
much-
yeah, they would check out a book, yes.
Right.
Yeah, they would check
Before
out
we were
books to
able
take over, yeah.
Scan and save and copy
Right.
to our phones and.
Right. So, yeah, so that, yeah, so those are the big changes to the cardholder policy.
All right. I will entertain a motion to approve the first reading of the library card holder policy.
So moved?
I'll second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the first reading of the library card holder policy. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
All right. And then the other policy is the genealogy policy, and the only change we made to that is we increased the amount that we may charge if we feel it's necessary from $5 to $10. We typically don't charge But if there is if it takes a while, we may ask for some, for $10. So that's the only change to the genealogy policy.
Oh, yeah. I'll move to approve.
Okay. It's been
Second.
moved. I'm still looking for it.
It's on the back.
It would have been in the first section after the fax services.
32, there we go. All right.
Yeah.
All right, it's been moved
I'll second.
and seconded.
Lance had seconded, actually.
One
Oh,
second.
and Lance, second.
No.
I missed it too. All right. All those in favor of approving the first reading of the genealogy materials lending policy signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. All right. Motion carries to approve the genealogy materials lending policy.
All right, and that's that.
Okay, yeah. And then the meeting room policy, or no? Community room.
We've got, yeah, that's all the unfinished business.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get back here. And so we didn't need to do the meeting room policy. That was
I
just
didn't
that
put that, I didn't
introduction.
put that on this agenda,
Okay.
or on this meeting.
That now.
It was, last meeting, it was just to get people thinking about it, and, there's still, I think, a couple of things that I want to, run by the city attorney first. They had looked at it, and the religion, religious groups can't use it, that part needs to be struck.
Okay.
But we need to look at some of the other stuff and see, I thought that would be a better first step, is to check on any potential legal issues, and then we can decide where we want to go from there, depending on what they say about the rest of that. So, yeah, so that's that. So that's why that one wasn't on the agenda.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
So let's move on to new business and kind of go over the streaming services for the library.
Yeah, one of the things that people ask about, in fact, somebody asked today about it, Kathy said when we were talking about this, is adding more streaming services to what we offer. So right now, we have ebooks, we have audiobooks through Overdrive. Overdrive has a video component called Canopy, which has gone through some changes over the past couple of years. And what I'm wondering is if this is something that the board would like to start looking into in more detail and seeing if it's something that we want to do or not. Actually, the first service that I have listed is Medici TV, which is actually a streaming service for art music, essentially. It's got concerts, it's got ballets, it's got operas. They do live events as well as recorded things. They also have a jazz component that they've added. They have master classes as well, which would be useful for kids to see what master teachers are saying to people about things. That service is you pay per month or per year, I guess. And it's based on your service population. So I was quoted about $1,000 a year for that. If we wanted to add the jazz component, that would be another $330. So $1,330 is what it would cost for a Medici TV, if that's something we wanted to pursue. Canopy is, like I said, it's through Overdrive, and it's their streaming video service. And it's set up a couple of different ways. They have basically first-run movies, stuff that, is just left. It's like, it would be comparable to Netflix or Disney or Amazon or any of those where you can get movies. The way that part of Overdrive works is we pay per view. And a view is anything longer than 30 seconds. Once a patron has looked at it, they have anywhere between 24 and 72 hours, depending on the movie, to finish watching it. So if you wanted something new, you could get it, you could watch it as many times as you wanted for 24 hours, and it would only cost us the one amount. That's about $4 a view. Most libraries have a limit on the number of views, or the number, well, they call it tickets, the number of tickets that a patron gets a month. Rapid ran into that issue. Rapid has Canopy. The first time they did it, they blew through, I think, about a third of their budget in the first month. Their yearly budget in the first month, because people just went nuts. So they realized, oh, we need to put a limit. And I think they have a limit of seven or 10 views. Like each patron can watch 7 things a month. And that seems to have worked out well for them. I was talking to Patty, the Deadwood librarian, and they have a similar service called Hoopla, and they have it limited to 10 per patron, and she said it's not very often that a patron uses it 10 times in a month. So that's one tier, is that it's pay per view, essentially. The other tier they have is unlimited viewings per patron. So their kids collection is like that. A kid gets on, or a parent gets on and logs in to watch for their kid. They have unlimited access for a month, and we pay one amount, which I think is about $5 a person, or a patron, I should say. They also added a few other tiers that are like that. They have some of the categories are favorites, easy watching, world cinema, stuff like that, where if somebody wanted to access that channel, essentially, it would cost us once per month, and then they would have access all month to whatever is on that channel. Those channels rotate the offerings month. I don't know if they completely change every month, but they do rotate. So some stuff comes and goes, kind of like the other streaming services. The Canopy people thought that based on our patron size, it would be anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 annually. And they said that the first year, because people are learning about it, you would spend about half that amount. And they say it takes about 3 years to get up to what they say would be the ultimate cost. And what happens is you set up an amount, and once you use that money up, then it's done for the year.
So we can have a budget.
So you budget, yeah, it wouldn't be open. You would say, this is the amount that we'll spend this year. And then that would, you would, I'm sure, adjust that year to year as you saw what the usage was.
When you heard from Rapid, was it younger people? I mean, was it just a variety?
I don't know. I would imagine, well, my first guess would be it would be, rather than age, it would be maybe demographics more.
Okay.
People that can't afford streaming services
Makes
would
sense.
use it, I think, probably more than other people. Unless there was something you wanted that wasn't available on the other services that people have. That would be my guess. I don't have any data to back that up, so I can't say for sure. But with Canopy anyway, I could see that, getting a lot of use. And I could actually see a lot of use for the kids tier. I think a lot of parents, because it's PBS. There are a couple of other educational services that's the material that's up there. So it would be, I think it would get used probably a fair amount. But I'm not sure.
On the back, it talks about 3 great courses per patron.
Yes,
So the great courses.
the great courses are available through that as well.
Wow.
per
Yeah.
month.
I believe so. I believe it's
Per month, which would be amazing.
and 3 great courses per month. And that's, I think it's just one cost for that. There are a ton of details, and what we can do if we want is they can give us both of these services will give us a month free to try it out and see if it's something that then we want to pursue more.
And you were kind of just asking if it's something that we think
Worth trying.
worth trying,
Yeah.
worth getting more information on, and
Well, and because the funding for that would be the issue, and I think one way to pay for that, probably the only way we can pay for that, since there isn't money in the budget, and I wouldn't want to take away from our book budget or anything, would be to use some Dun Trust interest for that. We're sitting at 24,000 in that account right now. If interest rates, of course, last year was an anomaly, but if interest rates are decent at all, then we can, we'll still be adding to that account every year, with the goal of having whatever the goal is in mind, I guess, long-term, for a bigger project. So that a portion of that could be used to pay for this stuff, if that's something that we're interested in doing. People have asked about it, which is why I'm bringing it up. I could see, well, there isn't really any way to see the type of stuff that Medici offers. There's just nothing around here to see that, even if you have streaming services. Netflix doesn't have a lot of that stuff, Amazon. So that's something that may or may not be used. But the nice thing about that is you're paying one amount, and so it's not per viewing. Canopy would be a little trickier to figure out, what the actual cost of that is going to be. I believe you can offer essentially the channels without offering the individual movie rentals, which would limit, you wouldn't be able to access the newer stuff, the stuff that's on the channels. Some of it looks like it's new, some of it's a little bit older. But since that you're paying per month per patron, would be a little, it'd be cheaper, because it's $5 a patron, versus $4 a view per the newer stuff.
what's your feeling? Like, which one would you, if you were to try something, what would you feel like?
Well,
Regarding Canopy.
yeah, we're gonna Canopy. I don't know. I guess. I mean, I could see, like I said, I think the kids service would get used. I think. I don't know how much the other channels would get used. I could see the World Cinema. The great courses could be used. The World Cinema channel, the documentary channel, those are going to be things that you're not going to be able to access easily through other means. And those, you do pay per year to have those tiers. And I think, what did I say? I think I've got it down here. $500 per, they call it a plus pack. So Canopy Kids would be $500 a year, plus the patron fee every month. The other channels, the Easy Watching, the World Cinema, those are also $500 a year administrative fee, plus the patron view. The other stuff, unless they've got fees hidden somewhere, it looks like you're just paying per view. You're not paying an administrative fee. So that's a bit of a convoluted structure, and if that's something we want to look at, we can get that all laid out
I like
Yeah,
that.
I'd like to
in more
see that,
detail.
more information on that, like that, have it a more clear, like,
Right.
money amount,
Exact
that the
amount.
Medici.
Yeah.
Would it be worthwhile to have kind of a questionnaire at the front desk, ask patrons if they'd be
We can try.
interested
We can do a Facebook, a Facebook poll, and we can,
May get
yeah.
people thinking about it and maybe excited about it if we
Right.
decide to
And then we can
commit
do
to
that,
it.
that free
Yeah, and I
month.
think the way to do it would be to try and build up some interest, get the free month, and then get feedback, and then,
Sign up for it.
and if there's interest, then go for it. If there's not interest, then
Yeah.
say, well, okay.
You can see how many people
Right.
are utilizing it in the first
Every time
month.
they chart, well, no.
I
Yeah.
think it'd be kind of interesting to see how many people would actually use it, if you could propose a questionnaire on
Yeah,
Facebook.
yeah, and I think that would be the best, well, a great place to start, yeah.
And like Rapid even said that it started slower, you know, and then it's gonna build up when,
Yeah,
but I think it's a great opportunity to offer this service to,
Absolutely, yeah.
And you'll have lessons for people to learn how to stream.
well,
There you go.
yeah,
there's cheat sheets for it.
so, yeah, okay,
And
so,
is there, is there like a contract that we're signing, or,
uh,
like, are we committed?
at this point, no,
Okay,
no. We're just, if we decide to try the month for free, I'm not sure what they would say about that, because if it's a free trial,
yeah,
you know. The way that actually, the way they both work would be, you would have to put in your library card number to authenticate, so it would be patrons only. Yeah.
any other questions or discussion on that?
Well, would you try the Medici too? Would you put that on the questionnaire?
Yeah, I would put them both up there to see
Yeah.
what kind of interest there is, yeah,
Music ones too.
yeah,
If people are
yeah. And I think there would be probably a smaller group that would be interested in Medici TV, but I think a group
Yeah,
that,
you can't find that content
well,
anywhere
right,
else,
right.
which is the,
And one of the cool things about it is that with Medici, you can pick what language you want the subtitles for the operas in. So if they're singing in Italian, Kristen could put it on in her classroom and have French subtitles,
Ooh,
Oh, there you go.
and then quiz her class about what it was they were singing about. And
oh, fun.
indeed,
yeah,
I'd love that.
yeah.
And does that have a free trial as well? Chris?
Yes, yeah, they both have a free month trial. So
Wow.
if there's interest, I think we should probably pursue that and see where it goes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's great.
I think so
Seems
too.
like a great service.
So,
I think that'd be a good opportunity. Yeah,
all
well,
right.
thanks for researching that. and-
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
So I don't know if we need to have a motion to pursue that or not, but
I'm happy to make a motion that we pursue,
explore interest in,
explore interest through a Facebook questionnaire and information regarding streaming services
All right,
that have been mentioned.
I'll second.
all right, it's been moved and seconded to do some more exploration on the streaming service for the library.
Is that sufficient, Chris?
I think
Okay.
we can make that work, yeah. Explore interest in, can I just say explore community interest
Yes.
in streaming services?
I think that's what I said.
And that way I can remember it. Okay, great.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Chris can do some more research and get some community interest input. All right, no need for executive session? All
I've
right.
got nothing that way.
Okay, no other matters coming before the board, so I will, someone want to adjourn our meeting?
I will move to, can anyone move to adjourn? I'll move to adjourn.
Yes.
Felt really important.
All right,
Okay.
Nice job, Cricket.
next meeting is, when is?
October,
Oh, yeah. That's gonna be Red Ribbon Week, so
20,
26th, 25th?
25.
25th,
that sounds right.
all right.
Yep.
Which, yes, I saw Chris at Festival of Books, and I have to apologize for the meeting in August completely between getting back from Yellowstone, friends visiting from France, and starting in service at school. I email and